My mother-in-law thought I was poor until I bought her dream house. 28 years old, got married to my girlfriend just last year. My girlfriend and I dated for 2 years until we decided that we wanted to settle and get married. I didn't meet her parents until we were dating for a year, and instantly, I knew that her mom didn't approve of me. Her father, on the other hand, approved of me because he saw how well I treated his daughter. I tried to get to know her mother by helping her whenever she was carrying things, or chilling in the kitchen making different things. Her mom would always try to push me away, and I guess I thought she was just playing hard to get. I didn't think much of it, and I wanted to prove to her that I wanted to be with her daughter. I own a real estate investment company. It's what I do for a living, and it has allowed me to work fewer hours and spend time with my wife. My wife works as a lawyer and works more hours than I do, more than I can even imagine myself working, but it's part of her job, and she still loves it. Both my father and mother-in-law know what I do for a living, but I don't think they understand the scale of my job. To my mother-in-law, she thinks that I'm just a real estate agent that can't get any sales because I work less, and sees me all the time trying to bond with her. Recently, I got her to talk to me about houses because we were talking about my job. She mentioned this house that she calls her dream house and mentions how she tried buying it once, but couldn't because it was too expensive. I recognized the street, and the house she was referring to because it was part of the houses that I had developed a couple of years ago. During the conversation, she asked me how I'm going to support her daughter. She told me that she sees me more than her daughter, and asked if I'm even working. I told her that I'm doing well with my job, and that I can definitely prove that I can support her daughter. She looked at me and told me that she was just going to be honest, and told me that she believes that I should let my daughter go. She told me that I was a good man, but I just wasn't the best fit for her daughter. I just imagined my daughter dating someone else, she said. I looked at her and said, like who? That's when I found out that she had a friend who owned a restaurant that had a son, and I guess they both made a promise to try to play matchmaking, and her mother approved of it because that meant that her daughter would get married into the business. My heart sank. I spent the last couple of months trying to get this woman to like me. But it felt like nothing was working. I told her that I wasn't going to leave her daughter. And that I would treat her daughter way better than her friend's son could. She laughed while she continued going back to work, and told me that her daughter makes more than me, and that her friend's son could triple both of our incomes combined. I looked at her and asked her how she would know if her daughter was making more than me. She told me that it doesn't take a genius to tell that a lawyer will make more than a real estate agent. I didn't want to argue with her anymore, so I told her that I had to go and pretended that I had somewhere to go. That day, I ended up contacting the owner and tried acquiring the house. The owner wasn't interested in selling their house at first, but everything always has a price when it's right. The owner was a hard man to negotiate with, and I'm sure I lost the deal, but I honestly didn't care much. Throughout the past 3-4 months, I've had to deal with paperwork, inspection, and the whole process of buying the house. I stopped visiting my in-laws and stayed in contact with my father-in-law. I would usually call him and he would always tell me to come visit him. He asked me if my mother-in-law was the reason why I stopped coming, and I laughed and told him that I was just working more. During this time, my mother-in-law has tried hinting to my wife about her friend's son, and my wife always shut down the idea, and always told her that she's married and to respect it. You can now check if there's a part 2 by clicking share and more.